Hello, Jen Kelleher here, and I'm talking about the new moon in Virgo, which is happening on September 2nd, which I'm really looking forward to, especially after this Mercury retrograde, because retrograde, it's very useful, and I was very consciously using the retrograde to go back to old stuff. I went through my attic a lot, went through a lot of boxes, cleared out a lot of stuff, donated a lot of stuff. And now that retrograde clearing, right, is over. It's gone direct as of yesterday, August 28th. So now we get to um, create this new version of ourselves, right? We threw out the old stuff, or reorganized, or got rid of what is like not even relevant. And it's interesting. The boxes that I was going through, I'm like, why did I choose to hold on to this? It was like that version of myself back then thought that this thing was really important or really meaningful. And for some reason, I put a lot of meaning into it. And then I'm looking at it, I'm like, what the? So now we get to embrace this new version of ourselves, right? And you get to choose what it is. You get to choose this new version of yourself. Um, I will say, and this is what I love, that the new moon in Virgo, right? Virgo is all about organizing. It's all about the details. It's all about figuring out the stuff and putting it right. Putting it in alignment with who you are and where you are at this time of your life. So that's what I love about astrology, is like we can make it be really practical, and that's how I use it. I just make it practical for, all right, what am I doing now? And especially for me as an entrepreneur, right? I was always following works guidelines and quarterly assessments, closing out the month, doing, everything, and I was told to do. Now, as an entrepreneur, I get to tell myself, okay, Jen, now it's time, to look at the numbers, add it up. How do we do this month? How do we do this quarter? What about this year compared to last year? All of that stuff, right? So I geek out about that a little bit. That's my inner Virgo. My moon is in Virgo. So it's interesting that the new moon is in Virgo. So I have a lot of reverence for this sign. Sometimes I hate it, but most of the time it keeps me organized, and then it gives me more freedom. Once I'm organized, then I have so much more free time, free space to play and kind of make mistakes and figure things out. And what do I want to include and what don't I like? What fits, what doesn't fit. So I love all of that. The Virgo uh, is the I analyze. So analyzing, figuring things out. It is also about serving, right? So last night I was a part of an event where it was not comfortable. It was a very hot, humid night. We were outside and the bugs were nasty. Oh my good. And it is the season, like this year, the mosquitoes are pretty bad. So we're kind of getting eaten alive a little bit outside. So we're like, and it was so hot, we had to cover our arms and legs to avoid, getting eaten so much. And then, we're doing the event, and then we hear thunder. I'm like, are you kidding me? But everything worked out. Everything was like really beautiful. And like while I'm doing it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm sweating, I'm itchy, and this is not comfortable. And I'm like, do I want to give myself a break? Do I want to quit? No, because I was working. And I love the work that I do. And I'm helping people. I'm helping people feel more peaceful. If anything else, it's feeling connected to community, and it's feeling peaceful and seen and heard and recognized. So of course, I kept going. I took little water breaks. I even splashed some water on my face, but I kept going, and we all kept going. It's interesting when you're in a group and it's like you want to quit or fade out, and you see everybody else not. You're like, okay, we're going to keep going. So that's what I really love about community. So Virgo is all about serving. A lot of getting healthcare workers, nurses, doctors, all are in service. So that's kind of that Virgo energy, right? To be of service for people. It is ruled by Mercury, right? Haha, Mercury is just in a retrograde. Now it's going direct, and I'm so happy because it's Virgo, and Virgo is ruled by Mercury. So Mercury is all about communication. So kind of cleaning up, and I've been working on this a lot, cleaning up our communication. Now, many times I put communication as a side. It's just like a tool, like a thing that we do, but it's much more than that. It's actually really powerful. And I'm in groups where we just had a talk on public speaking and how we show up and how we speak and communicate is very powerful, right? Our voice has a vibration, has a frequency. And when we speak, we're putting that energy, that frequency out into our community, right? Into the outside of who we are, which is why I would say especially women, but I'll single me out. I was conditioned to not speak, to shut that down because nobody wanted to hear what I had to say. And that limiting belief is something that I lived with for decades. And it was, I would say, reaffirmed a lot, like throughout my life, starting with my parents and the church, and then going to school and the teachers, and then going to work and the managers, the employers. I had to follow their line, which I appreciate. But now I'm kind of like a free bird where I'm making the rules for myself and for how I communicate. And it's very freeing, and it's also very daunting, intimidating. And it's not that new, but I'll say pretty new, relatively new. When I was working in corporate, they had a lot of great programs, and one of them was public speaking. And I choked when they videoed us speaking, and I just choked, and I shared it with my husband, and he was cringing the whole time, and he's like, I feel so sorry for you. So that's been a while. That was 2011. So yeah, it's been a while. So since then, and when I owned the yoga studio, I was the one in charge. I was the one, introducing people and, sharing announcements and all of that stuff. Like I was running the ship, and I needed to communicate, and I needed to communicate clearly. So it's not that new, but on this stage, the way I'm showing up now, there is not a lot of room for being hesitant. So whatever my message is, being clear on my message and communicating it clearly, that's where I am on my journey. And that's what I'm focusing on, cleaning that stuff up. and organizing. So my message is clear. I'm figuring out my message first before I present it out into the world. And that, I think, is a good uh, piece of advice. I don't know if that's the right word, but for all of us to kind of take in, it is powerful. It's really powerful to be heard, to speak up, um, to use your voice. So this is also, very gratefully, a mutable sign. So it's very flexible, right? So we can shift course. We could be like, this is my message. And then maybe you'll understand it in a different way, and then you revise it. You'll be like, I didn't understand it fully when I first spoke this, but here's, my revised message, and it's a little bit more informed. And I really feel like transparency is key to being mutable. When you shift directions, to say why you're shifting directions. Being steady on your course is one thing, but sometimes there's so much, I would say, gray area, right, in that line, and we're like, this is where I'm going, and it's like, wait, you kind of veered off a little bit. This is more in alignment with where your destination is. All right. So I feel like that is everything that I wanted to share about the new moon in Virgo. And do the rituals that feels right for you, maybe setting an intention for what you want to create in this moon cycle in Virgo, what you want to maybe look deeper into, what do you want to practice more, maybe having those conversations with people. And a helpful hint, which I really love, is practice on strangers. Like, go up to somebody, online in the grocery store and be like, oh, I like what you have there. Like, when I go to Trader Joe's, I love Trader Joe's. One of the reasons is because the cashiers always comment on what I'm buying. And they're like, oh, have you had this before? And it starts a conversation like, oh my God, this is my favorite. Have you tried this flavor? Love that. All right. So practice communicating, make it simple on yourself. And then you get more comfortable with speaking and being in your voice. And I feel like the more we share our voice, the more we listen, the more we understand, and the more we connect. And that, for me, is my goal for my experience in this life. All right, so I will see you in a few weeks for the full moon in Gemini. It'll be really fun. So enjoy this. Take care of you, and any questions, or if you want to book a session with me, you're very welcome to. I have everything included in the description. Thank you so much.